Winston Smith has been inducted as a builder into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame. For his many levels of activity on behalf of the sport, he is being saluted. Winston, you built a very notable contribution to baseball as a coach with Winnipeg South, doing it from the 1980s through to 1996 at the AA, AAA levels. What stands out for you as a highlight of that particular period?
A ball hitting a bag that cost us the provincial championship.
Wow.
In midget. Coach on the other side was Dave Olson. We were at the Elmwood Diamond. It was a terrific game. And the winning run was scored with the ball hitting the base and bouncing over my first baseman's head. It was a fantastic game. And we actually fought back and we had the tying run at second base when the last out occurred. So the midget champion provincial championship stands out in my mind. And I was honored actually to be coaching against Dave Olson, who I thought was a great coach at the time.
A heartbreaking finish, mind you.
Oh, we were so disappointed. Had to cheer up the boys, took a little time,
I'll bet you.
But they played extremely well. I had some great talented players.
Somebody diverted you into serving on the board of directors of the Winnipeg South Minor Baseball Association. Like a lot of people, you learned to make a commitment as a volunteer, didn't you?
I did. I got asked by my cousin Garth Manis, and Garth said, "Look, I've been asked to be on the board. I'd like you to be assistant, vice president." And I said, "Sure, I'd be glad to." "You're going to be around for a while, Garth?" "Yes, I will be around for a while." And about a year and a half later, he was transferred to Ontario. I became president. From that point on, worked with some wonderful people in the association at all levels.
But it was a labor of love, I'm sure.
It was wonderful, and it involved also ultimately getting the new diamonds in place in time for the 1999 Pan Am Games. So all the people I worked with were fantastic.
Your role in baseball's administration certainly was extensive. You spent 15 years as Manitoba's Vice President of Policy on the Baseball Management Committee. How did you finally extract yourself from that position?
I haven't.
Have you still got it?
I do. I still have it, and it's great. There's a new board this year. Well, not a new board, a new president this year, and so the training starts again. No, I'm just kidding. They all are terrific members.
All right. What does it involve? Tell us what it is.
Vice President Policy, I look after the constitutional issues, policy issues, discipline, honors. I'm chairman of the Honors and Awards, and that's just a great opportunity that I have doing that. That's so much fun. I know how I reacted when I heard about this award. I know that young people, that translates into what young people do when people take time to nominate them. So those are some of the jobs. I do some advising to the president and Morgan DePena, the executive director, and so on.
Sounds like it keeps you busy at that rate.
Sure is.
At the national level, Winston, you had 2 periods as a member of Baseball Canada's Bylaws Committee. What did you have to deal with in that respect?
The federal government discovered that Baseball Canada, a number of years back, did not have a board of directors. It only had members. So we had to change the bylaws, and I worked with a fellow from the East that together we redrafted the bylaws, put in the requirement to have a board of directors. When we did that, we made the board of directors the representatives from all the provinces, and all the provinces were represented with the directors each having 1 vote. So that was a big change. Then the second time around, the new Not-for-Profit Act came in, and it required everybody, again, all the non-profit organizations to take a look at their bylaws and make certain changes that were required. The big change for us, and I think it's just an absolute wonderful thing that happened, was that the membership votes that used to be weighted in favor of Quebec, Ontario, and BC, decided we moved it back to 4 votes for each province. So everybody is equal And I can tell you that the committee I worked on, 3 lawyers, one from Ontario and one who was the chair, Brian Ward, and David Hutwith from Ontario, were just terrific to work with. But we wanted to get this vote down to 1 per province. Ontario a little hesitant, and Quebec stood up and said, we like the idea, and that carried the day.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You were called up to serve as the Baseball Manitoba convener on a number of city and provincial championships, and I recall working on media services during the '99 Pan American Games when you were on the baseball technical committee of those games. So there was something very special for you right there. Right?
That was a fantastic opportunity, Bob. I could not have dreamed that ever occurring. And Dave Olson gave me a call and said, we want you on there. Alex Campbell's going to be the other technical commission. From that point on, Alec and I had a tremendous time, great experience for me. Rubbed shoulders with a number of leaders in the major league area
Sure.
there, with the U.S. team and with
well, the baseball became, you know, the focal point of those Pan American Games, certainly toward the end of the games, and we were in the spotlight there for sure.
Oh, it certainly did. There was a lot going on, some little political issues.
Oh, of course.
And some players that would, from some of the teams or countries that preferred, they'd like to stay right in Winnipeg or down in the U.S. So it got so exciting, and then Canada had an appeal, and in any event, Canada did extremely well. We couldn't be commissioners for Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't officiate, but we were pulling for them in any event. That's probably why we couldn't commission. We couldn't be commissioners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. More recently, Winston, you've been recruited to work on events like the 2011 AAA Bantam Baseball Championship for the Western Canada Baseball Association, and you haven't really been able to say no too many times along the way, have you?
You know, I haven't, and opportunities that kind of fit in. I have a bit of a busy schedule. I haven't retired yet, but opportunities to officiate at youth events is the thing that I think all of us pull together to have happen. So when my time comes and somebody asks me to be a convener, I'm only too happy to do so. And the Bantam event here in Winnipeg was terrific, not without a few sparks, but it was extremely well officiated. It was well managed as far as the conveners, the host site people, and so on. But it was pretty exciting. And then I went out to Trail, BC, and watched my son.
After that?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
in the seniors. That was his last year. He retired from the Elmwood Giants. And that was a great thrill for me. Plus the fact that he was playing with fellows that had been with him when he played for the province. So it was good fun.
You're still a baseball fan, aren't you?
Absolutely. A loyal fan and loyal to the Gold Eyes. I have to confess, though, that my job keeps me away from getting to the games, a lot of them, but I do get to some.
Okay, what does it mean to be a member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame for you?
It means it's the greatest form of recognition that could be given to me, and it's a recognition. They're not asking me, I hope to retire from the game, but they're saying, or from volunteering, but it's a recognition saying that I have performed, filled my role in the baseball community to the fullest extent worthy of recognition.
Winston Smith, who has been inducted as a builder into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame.